Hi, I'm Jenny Robertson, founder of the On Purpose Woman Global Community and founder and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine. I'm here to share the Connection After Hours gathering of the On Purpose Woman Global Community and our speaker tonight, who is Jean Peelen, and she'll be talking about her newly released memoir, Feisty, a memoir in little pieces. I'm going to hold this up so you can all see this book. An 82-year-old first-time solo writer, Jean has been a wife, mother, civil rights attorney, model, actress, radio show host, and elected city official. In her spare time, she fostered dogs, fought greedy developers, and marched in every civil rights demonstration she could get to. She currently is in love with TikTok, where she supports people who want to write about their lives. Jean lives in a tiny house village in North Carolina. Jean, I'm so happy you're here. I've missed you. I'm so happy I got to know you back in the day. I didn't know you back in the day like some people, but I got to know you a good 20 years ago, I guess. So thank you for being here, and you're on.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. I want to give a quick shout out to Susan Eitel, who was there. I did it before the meeting started. Susan was my technical editor on this book, and she caught every misspelling, every comma, every bad phrasing, she caught it. And I'm very grateful. I also want to thank Mary Lou Starling, who is here in this room, who I haven't seen in 20 years, at least. Mary Lou was one of my beta readers for this book. And she read it at a time when I was really discouraged about it. I just didn't know if this was going anywhere, doing anything. And she read it, and her response was so encouraging, so uplifting, that I am very, very grateful to her. And I say so in the acknowledgments in the book, because I'm very grateful. So I'm happy to see these two people here. I'm happy to see all of you. Okay, so Jenny, I want to ask you, because I've never given this talk before. I have no idea of the length. So would you give me a 5-minute warning? Okay, when we're close?
Does that work? Okay.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so Jenny said everything I have been in my life and where I am now. But until I wrote Feisty, a memoir in little pieces, I had no idea of what my life's purpose was. I didn't know it. I sort of saw my life as being a series of events, a series of happenings, a series of situations, decisions made on, I had no idea what my decisions had been made on. They were just made. And I didn't know what my life had been about. When people would ask me, I've taken lots of transformational workshops. And when people started talking about purpose, I just started getting nervous, because I didn't know what my purpose was. I would make stuff up, I would just make stuff up because I didn't know what to say. And I thought that I was alone, and I was embarrassed about it. I'm sort of ashamed of it. And I thought also that it was a brain activity, that you sort of like, how you make lists when you're trying to make a decision, that you make these lists and you decide what your purpose is. Well, of course, it doesn't work that way at all. Not at all. So it wasn't till I started writing. It's the question of what is your life's purpose, along with boredom, is what got me to start writing. I moved to my tiny house village 5 years ago, and every damn Tuesday night, I played Tuesday night taco trivia. I was already bored before the pandemic hit. So when the pandemic hit, I decided I have to do something. What do I want to do? Well, why don't I try to figure out what my life had been about? Because I didn't know. So I did it by writing down memories, just writing down a couple lines, a couple sentences about a memory that has stayed in my brain for then 80 years. And it wasn't just the births, the deaths, the divorces, the love affairs, the dogs, the cats, whatever. It was sometimes one sentence that was said to me when I was 5 years old. It was sometimes a situation that I wasn't part of, but I watched, and I had interpretations or feelings about it enough that it was still in my head. I ended up with 65 moments in time. 65. I got to tell you about this. This is not posed. I told the early people who got here, this is not a posed picture. This was an actual picture taken on my last day as the city commissioner in Holmes Beach, Florida, where I had been fighting developers and losing. And I attended my last meeting wearing this because it seemed right to do. And it's a snapshot. I had to fight the publishers, but it became the cover of the book. So, okay. So I sat down to write these memories. And I found an interesting thing. Those memories that you don't know why they're there, they're usually very powerful and they made a difference in your life. And what I'm going to do is sort of combine. Now, when I say I'm going to read a chapter, that means my chapters are 1 page, sometimes 2, sometimes 2.5. That's it. That's as long as they are. So when I'm going to read a chapter, don't worry, you'll be done in a minute. Okay. So the first chapter of the book is called Hello, Yellow. And it is based on a sentence that my mother at one time said to me about my birth, that I was born jaundiced. So, hello, yellow, 1946, age 5. Was I really born yellow? My mother sighs, weary of my asking. I've told you this story so many times. Yellow? Yes, you were born yellow. Bright yellow like a banana? No, not that bright, light yellow. But babies aren't supposed to be yellow, right? Right. I wait. The doctor said you were jaundiced and they might need to replace all your blood. I love that sentence. I could have had somebody else's blood. I feel the goosebumps on my arms. Why didn't they do it? Why didn't they change my blood? You just got better all by yourself. The yellow faded away. What did the doctor say then? I ask. This is my very favorite part. The doctor said, she is one feisty kid. Now, that was one sentence that possibly led to my purpose in life, of what I've been doing all of my life. Sometimes my memory would be of a situation that I considered hopeless, that I didn't know what was going to happen. I was depressed, I was sad, all of those things. This one chapter was when, it's in the chapter, but when I had lied to my parents to get out of New Jersey, where I saw my future as being go to the local teacher's college and marry the neighborhood boy and have babies. Okay, so I went to a college called Hope College in Holland, Michigan, because it was far away from New Jersey, and my parents would let me go. Okay, this is called Chapter 9, No Hope for the Hopeless, 1961, age 20. Lying is my only way out of New Jersey and into the world. My parents expect me to go to the local teacher's college. I lie and tell them and my minister that I want to be a missionary. They agreed that I can go to a church college 5 states away. I arrive at the small college in the small town in Michigan, expecting a hotbed of sophistication and learning. Instead, it's high school with talks of boys and gossip. My dorm mates are here to get their MRS degree. No discussions of literature or art or God or of anything. I go to chapel early every morning as required. I go to classes, I do the assignments, but something is amiss. I zipped through high school. I never needed to study. Everything taught, I thought, already resided in my brain. I was born with a certain amount of knowledge and have used it up. But in college, all the material was foreign. I can't learn. I am incapable of learning. I am dumb. I begin cutting classes, staying up late and sleeping in, and every quarter my grades go down. My parents ask why. I say, I don't know. I'm lying to everyone. If this continues, I will flunk out. I am the first person in my family to go to college, and I can't cut it. I'm horrified that everyone will know I am dumb. I would rather people believe I got caught up in college life and didn't study. I would rather have my parents be disappointed in me because I didn't work at it than have them and everyone else know I cannot learn. I am stuck between failure and failure. I write to my parents. I don't know where else to go for comfort. I can't tell them I want out and that I cannot succeed in college. I pour my heart out to goodness I have been holding secret for most of my life. I am a trapped spirit. Mom and Dad, I am frustrated. I want to do something in this world. I want to travel everywhere. I want to help people. I want to do important things. I don't know what they are, but I do know I don't want to just get married and have children. My father writes in response. I am startled because he has never written before and is very self-conscious about his writing. Dear Jean, your mother is sitting next to me, and this letter is from both of us. We love you very much, and we understand your desire to do something in the world. We are proud of you. Please understand that doing something in this world will happen for you when you have children. You will be the leader for your children. I can't. I just cannot accept that this is my fate. This is my future. How stupidly circular it all is. If my only purpose is to raise children and their purpose is to raise children, who is it that will change the world? And why can't it be me? Because I am dumb. I am lost and alone. I'm going home. So that was a memory. I still had the letter from my father that I've had for all of these years. I get emotional reading this. I have to tell you, I still get emotional. So sometimes it is a letter received that had an effect on you, what your memory is. And let me tell you, if you want to write about your memories, they don't need to be accurate. They don't need to be perfect. It's your interpretation. So it is my theory that any memory that stays in your head, it's there because it raised an emotion in you that is still there, that is yet to be worked with, possibly. So that's a different way to work with memories. Doesn't matter if she said exactly this or I said exactly that. You just remember what the situation was, what was around it, what was happening with you at the time, and it makes a difference. So maybe it's a situation where you are there and you have maybe a one-liner in the whole situation, and you don't know till years later why it stayed in your brain and how scary it was. This is called, it's chapter 37, called Beers with Clarence T. Yes, it's who you're thinking it is. Beers with Clarence T, 1981, age 40. The warehouse bar is filling up with softball players. My boss, Clarence Thomas, Assistant Secretary for Civil Rights, is already ensconced at our table with his beer. The beer and the conversations are flowing, but as is his way, Clarence is the quietest person here. I'm not sure why he comes to our softball games and goes with us to drink afterward. I think he's lonely. His wife isn't with him. Word is they are separated. And yes, that was his first wife. We all try to chat with him as one does with boss, to make him more comfortable or to find some common ground or to impress him. I'm always trying to figure him out. It's hard for me to talk with introverts, and Clarence is that, introverted and socially awkward. I listen in on a conversation when the shortstop asks Clarence about his family. 4 brothers and 1 sister, he says. The chatter goes on about his siblings, mostly about his brothers. I see my opportunity to participate. What about your sister? Is she still in Georgia? What is she like? Yes, she is still there. She has kids and is on welfare. Oh, that's hard, I say. Do you help her out? Asks the left fielder. No, I don't approve of welfare. She has children. What kind of example does that set for her children? There is quiet around the table. No one wants to take on the boss. The left fielder, maybe unwisely, persists. You don't financially help her at all? That isn't welfare. That is helping your sister and her children. No, she needs to learn to be self-sufficient, to support herself and her children. Chills. I feel chills. So that's a situation I witnessed. I had one line in it, and it stayed here. It stayed in my brain because, of course, I started watching his career after that, to where he is now, and hopefully won't be for too long. But anyway, I digress. So that's another way to look at and use memories. You don't have to be the star player in it. And one thing I want you to notice, I never do any analysis of a situation. I don't analyze, I don't explain. I just tell it to you because I have a lot of faith in the reader to get what she or he gets out of it. So I don't want to say, well, here's what I'm telling you, now here's what I told you. I just put it out there instead. So maybe it's the memory of a very traumatic time in your life. Like when I was 53, and I absolutely correctly believed that I was drinking way too much. Way too much. And so this is a chapter called Addiction Dance. Chapter 44, Addiction Dance, 1994, age 53. I'm gently rocking, lying in the bottom of a small rowboat. Whisper to yourself, I am happy and at peace. I am happy and at peace, I whisper. I do not want to drink alcohol. I whisper that too, although I'm not convinced it's true. How can it be true when I drink almost daily after work, either Johnny Walker Red or a bottle of wine? How could I suddenly not want to drink anymore? Alcohol of any kind tastes terrible. I will not drink alcohol again. I don't like it. I do like it. I can go several days without drinking, but I always go back. It is impossible to have one drink or two drinks. I'd love to give it up, but I don't think this is the way to do it. I rock, pretending I believe hypnotism will work. A work friend commented on how much I was drinking. I was shocked. I thought nobody noticed. If she saw a problem, did others? Were others just not saying so? Did my boss notice? Has my work been affected? The hypnotherapist is still giving me statements to repeat. Even the thought of alcohol makes me sick. There are mornings when I can smell alcohol coming through my skin. There are mornings I don't make it to work. I rock, whispering the phrases. Sometimes I can't tell whether I'm awake or asleep. You will wake up when I count to 3. I don't know how I can wake up when I think I have never been asleep. 3. I sit up on the couch. I made a tape. Take it home and listen to it every night before you go to sleep. Or better yet, go to sleep listening to it. Come back next week and we will do it again. My mind is at war with itself. She's a charlatan. No, she's saving my life. I don't believe in this stuff, but maybe it can work. Don't be stupid. Please let it work. Please. So that was a traumatic time and a traumatic situation. And I think I actually remember about every word of those sessions. Oh my God. All right, I was going to read you a funny one, but there may not be time. Here's what I wanted to tell you about purpose. Writing this book had me understand my purpose because I saw a pattern. I saw the patterns in my life. I saw that I have a pattern of wanting to live fully without shutting myself down my whole life, that I have a pattern, that my life had an arc. It had discovery, taking brave steps, trusting the universe to provide even when I didn't know what the universe was, feeling guilt for where I had failed at my task, and finally enjoying the fruits of my labor. I saw the main pattern of always working to give voice to the voiceless. Thus, I saw what my purpose had been. I will say that also in the book, which may not be pleasant for some, is the story of being molested as a child. It's a 3-part little story. That was the first time that I felt voiceless as a human being. And I know now by going back and writing all these things that happened in my life that my purpose is to bring light. My purpose is to give voice to the voiceless. And it always has been. In the beginning of my book, I write, the world wanted me to nest. I wanted to fly. So maybe I knew it all along. Maybe I was put here on earth to fly and to help others to fly. That's it. I'm sorry you didn't get to hear the funny one.
I think we have time for the funny one. We want to hear the funny one, don't we, ladies? Yes, let's hear the funny one.
Okay. It's called, I'll find the right page, 125. It's called Don't Fence Me Out. 1980, age 39, before I gave up drinking. I have one leg over the top of the tall fencing when the searchlight hits me. The DC Metro police car pulls further into the alley and stops. Freeze! There is not a single excuse I can make for where I am and what I am doing. The bar manager's parting words as he closed the bar tonight, sure, come on over to my place anytime, meant come on over tonight. I didn't know about any security fence, but between me and Johnny Walker Red, I wasn't going to let that stop me. I freeze as ordered, working to keep my balance on top of the fence. Oh God, I can picture the headline in the Washington Post. Federal attorney arrested for breaking into local bar manager's house. I am here. I am hot for the bar manager. I look at him and see bad boy romance. He is everything I shouldn't want. A high school dropout, a Vietnam Marine, a macho man, a bar manager. He's the direct opposite of what the world would have me look for, a successful lawyer or businessman. But I see tall, tough, smart, funny, rule breaker, and very, very sexy. I hear laughter. The cops are laughing. He must be really good at it, one snickers from within the car. I know the voice. It's one of the many cops that hang out at his bar. They know him and they know me. The bar manager's back door opens. He comes out, baseball bat held as a weapon. What the hell, he says. Oh, it's just one of your friends come to see ya, yells the cop. The bar manager grabs my hand to help me over. Welcome, he says. So, that's it.
Oh, wow. Let me, well, I want to first ask the ladies here with us on Zoom to unmute yourselves so that Jean can hear our thank yous and our applause and our whatever. So let's give her a big shout out.
Yay,
This is my first time doing this speech and about Feisty. So thank you all.
Oh,
for being
wonderful.
kind.
It's a great place to
Great
start.
presentation.
And Jean, you dedicate your book to the badass women who opened our eyes and opened the door. And I want to thank you for being a trailblazer and opening eyes and opening doors for women like me who needed role models for what was possible. Because you're 10 years is another generation back then, right? I mean, when I think about what you were doing in like 1962, that was big stuff. That was big stuff. So thank you. And thank you for inspiring us tonight with your wisdom and your life experiences. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
And I want to thank anyone who's watching this live or watching the replay on our YouTube channel. If you'd like to join us for one of our 9 free Zoom gatherings a month or an in-person in Columbia, Maryland, Richmond, Virginia, or Tallahassee, Florida, comment below and I'll tell you how to do that. Or you can go to my website, opwgc.com, and find out all about our community. And I do want to remind everyone that the link to buy Jean's book is in the text of this video, as is the link to my website. So thanks for watching, everyone.